Hi! Alright, for this video, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't do it very often because it is a pain in the butt. So if you're trying to learn, good for you. I hope it goes well. But I don't personally enjoy doing this at all because it really is a pain in the butt. But I still wanted to show you like how to get started on it because it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, it's annoying. I already have, if you hear that, I have my heater on because it's chilly in here. So yeah, if you hear weird noises, it's just my heater. I already have it like kind of sort of started because it took a really long time. I have 100 stitches on here. I brought over another ball of yarn and a needle to show you like how to cast on and stuff just in case. You're gonna do this, ignore the fact that this is a regular knitting needle, but you're gonna do this on the whatever they're called, circular needles I think are what they're called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. You're gonna do this on those, not this. This is just for, you know, to show you how to do it. But you start with a little slippy knot thingy or however you do it, pull it tight, and then take it and twist it around like that, and that's how you cast on. And I did 100. Yeah, you just do that. I did 100 on the circular needles because it has to go all the way around the thing. So you want it to be, you know, enough so it's not stretching entirely. I know there's a thing called, what is it? Magic ring or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how to do it. But I'm pretty sure there is a way to do it with less stitches, but I currently don't know how to do it. I'll try and learn maybe eventually, but right now I don't know how to. There's a big bug on my window. But once you get everything cast on, you want to make sure that this, all of your cast on thingies that you have are not twisted, because it will continue to be twisted if you start with it twisted, if that makes sense. So you need to make sure, again, it's a pain in the butt. You need to make sure that it's completely untwisted and all in a straight line. Otherwise it's gonna be a mess. But once you get it on, you wanna hold the side with your, the one that's attached to the yarn, in the hand that you're going to knit the stitches onto, like you're doing a regular knit thing, but back and forth, you know, the one that doesn't have the project on it yet, if you're doing regular needles, that's the one that you want to hold on to in your right hand, if you're right-handed. But then you just start knitting like normal. You take the side that doesn't have the one attached to the yarn to it, and you just start knitting like normal and pushing it along. Again, it's such a pain in the butt. It is worth it because it does make very nice, you know, seamless things like a hat or something like this. This is way too big for a hat. But I couldn't find my smaller circular needle for some strange reason, so this is the one we have. But it does make very good projects like hats and stuff like that, because, you know, there's no seam. You don't have to deal with that. It's a challenge because of the thing, it doesn't move comfortably. Yeah, it's just a challenge, but it is worth doing. Also, as you knit, you will notice that I believe the inside of the so like the inside of the ring will be like, I believe it's called the garter stitch, the basic knit stitch. Look will be on the inside, but on the outside it will look like it's been purled, and you didn't do anything. You didn't change how you were knitting or anything like that. That's just how it works when you go around. I don't know why that is. I think because you're not flipping it back and forth, but again, I'm not entirely sure. I barely do this. But yeah, you just want to knit like normal on all the rounds. I keep the tail here because I don't do stitch markers, so this is the beginning and end of my round. If, you know, you don't use them, it's a good way to do it. That bug is sneaking on down. It's a stink bug thingy. They're all over the place right now. It's really gross. It's outside, but it's still, you know, gross. These things do work, make, whatever you want to call it. You're able to get them done pretty quick. Like, it feels like it moves pretty quick because you don't have to change sides all the time. You just have to keep going around in circles. But again, it's not really worth the fight to me because of, you know, it's just annoying. But I'm gonna do this one round. I'm like already halfway done. I'm gonna do this one little roundy thing, and then I'll show you if you want to make it the normal knit way. I believe it's called a garter. I'm so sorry if I'm wrong. But if you want to make it look like that, it's very easy to do as well. So I'll show you that real quick. And then, but let me finish this real quick and then I'll be back. I did 2 rounds, just because I wanted to give it a little bit of something, but you can see how this side is like, you can barely see because it's only 2 rows, but this side is gonna be smooth and this side is gonna, and that side's gonna be like the garter stitch side on the inside. Hopefully you can see that because it is only 2 rows, but, I think it's honestly because you're not turning the project, you're just kind of going around and around and around in circles, so it's like you're purling, or knitting only one side, I guess. I don't know. Again, this is a pain. I really never do it. My heater turned off. But I did do 2 rounds just to make it 1 so you could see and 2 move a little easier. That's another thing with this. The more rounds you do, the stretchier it will be, so the easier and less tension there will be on the little cordy thing, the little round. So the more you do it, like the longer it gets, the easier it'll be to work with as well. So hopefully, you know, that helps. Again, I never do this because it really is just such a pain. It's not worth it to me. I'd rather have the seam. But now that you have that, if you don't want to have that smooth side look and you want it to look like, do I have any? 1 second. This is something I made, well, it's not something, it's a hat that I made a few years ago. But if you want it to look like this, the regular knit stitch, but be seamless and on the round, like this one isn't on the roundy thing, so it has a little seam. But if you want it to look like this style, all you're going to do is, if you know how to purl, all you do is you flip the yarn, you know, over in between like you're purling, and do that on the entire row. So you're gonna purl it instead, or round, I guess it's not a row, until you reach your stitch marker, tail, whatever you're using to let you know. And then you switch back over to the knit stitch, and do that every other, like knit 1 round, purl 1 round until you reach the end, and it'll look like this style of knit. Again, I think it's called a garter knit stitch or something, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know names of anything. So, well, I mean, I know names of a few things, but you know what I mean. I don't know the true names of everything. I know basics. But yeah, you just purl it instead of doing the regular knit stitch for 1 round, and then it will be like a normal knit and it won't be purled. It is easier if you just continue doing the one way, the knit way, because obviously you don't have to pay attention to the round beginning and ending. You don't have to switch between the 2 things at the end, all that stuff. It's just faster. But I prefer this way, the garter stitch way, because it's more squishy, and it's just more comfy feeling. So it's easier to do it, like, again, I think on straight needles instead of this. You just have to deal with a seam, and if you really don't like the seam, do it on this, and it really does, you know, it's a pain, but it can be worth it. Yeah, I just don't do it because it's not worth it to me. But hopefully, I know this is kind of a quicker video, and I hope it is explained well. And I know I'm still doing this. I'm just kind of doing a few so you can kind of see what I mean. But I hope it's explained like somewhat well enough for you to understand how to do it. The hardest part is trying to get the darn thing on the first round, trying to keep it from being all twisted up. That's the hardest part. And having it so it's like, you know, not super tight with the tension and all that stuff, because that can be very, very difficult. But yeah, it is, you know, it is something fun to do once you learn how to do it. I just never do it because I feel it's a pain. So hopefully you enjoy doing it if you were able to figure out, you know, how to from these kind of not that great instructions. But I hope you were able to figure out how to do it at least a little bit, how to get started, and it was slightly helpful. And if you want to do the squishy way, I hope that was understandable. But you can see here that it's going into the squishy way now. But on this side, it's just the smooth. That's how, this side is how it would be if you don't do the purl round, purl knit thing back and forth. It'll just be all the smooth. I don't currently have anything that's purled, so I don't think, I mean, I have my dragon, but yeah, I don't have anything like flat projects or anything like that that are, no, my dragons, is that crocheted? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that's purled because I like the squishy way better. But yeah, I hope that this was, you know, helpful for you and it was able to get you going on it. That's really the main thing, is just to get you figured out. It's not going to be perfect on your first go at it. But that's with everything. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to try this a few times because it is a learning thing, like how to get the right amount of stitches on there so it won't be super tight, not too many stitches because then that's a pain too, all this stuff. It's just going to take trial and error. But I hope this was helpful for you and you were able to understand the instructions and what I was talking about. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really hope this was helpful and I will see you next time. Bye.